NASA-backed International Asteroid Warning Network launched an emergency defense probe after the interstellar comet, also known as 3I Atlas, exhibited unusual behavior.
And we gotta talk about this. I don't know about you, but I love talking about things in the sky. NASA, stars, all of it. There is a mystery unfolding in the darkness of space, and it feels like the whole world is starting to follow along. Back in 2017, this weird object named Oumuamua shot through our solar system, and it left scientists asking a question some were afraid to even whisper. Did we just miss a message? For years, people argued. Was it a comet? Was it something else? Well, it might be happening again. A new visitor from interstellar space called 3I/Atlas was spotted in July of 2025, and it's already putting on a show. This is where Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb comes in. He's the person we go to for this stuff, and he thinks there's way more to this comet than meets the eye. He's saying this object is in the perfect spot to reveal itself as alien tech, and the moment to find out is right now. So, what makes this massive speeding object so special? What's got one of the world's most famous and controversial scientists willing to stake his reputation on it? The answer is a story of improbable orbits, suspicious timing, and a scientific test that is happening as we speak. So, to get why everyone's so worked up about 3I/Atlas, we have to rewind to 2017. Before then, the idea of an object from another star system just dropping by was pretty much just theory. Then a telescope in Hawaii picks up this faint dot of light moving in a way that just made no sense. They named it 1I/Oumuamua, which means scout in Hawaiian, and it was bizarre. First, its shape. As it tumbled through space, its brightness changed like crazy. This suggested it was super long and thin, maybe like a cigar or even a flat, thin disk. No comet or asteroid we'd ever seen looked like that. Then there was how it moved. As it went around the sun and headed back out of our solar system, astronomers saw it was speeding up. It had this little push, something besides the sun's gravity. Now, for a comet, that's normal. Ice turns to gas and it creates jets that act like tiny engines. The problem was, nobody could see any gas or dust. No glowing coma, no tail. If it was a comet, it was a ghost. This is where Professor Avi Loeb entered the conversation. The former head of Harvard's astronomy department, a guy with over 1,000 published papers, threw out this wild idea. What if the push wasn't from gas? What if it was the gentle pressure of sunlight hitting a very thin, very light object? What if Oumuamua was a light sail, a piece of alien technology? The idea was explosive. Most of the scientific community pushed back hard. They said extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and the evidence was thin. People came up with other ideas, like maybe it was a weird nitrogen iceberg whose gas would have been invisible. But those explanations had their own problems. By the time the debate really got going, Oumuamua was gone. It was too far and too faint to ever study again. It left us with this huge unanswered question and gave a lot of scientists, especially Loeb, a sense of urgency. They knew that next time we had to be ready. That next time came in 2019, when an amateur astronomer named Gennady Borisov found the second interstellar object, 2I/Borisov. And at first, Borisov seemed to prove the mainstream scientists right. It was almost in every way exactly what they thought an interstellar comet should look like. It had a big fuzzy coma and a clear tail. It was obviously a natural object, a lot like the comets from our own solar system. To many, the case was closed. Oumuamua was just a fluke, a weirdo. Borisov was the rule. It seemed like the debate was over. The idea of alien probes was back in the realm of science fiction. But then came the summer of 2025, and the new visitor was nothing like the normal, reassuring Borisov. On July 1st, 2025, the Atlas Telescope Network, which looks for dangerous asteroids, flagged a new object. Right away, they knew it was special. Its speed and path meant it wasn't from here. It was from interstellar space. It became 3I/Atlas, and the more astronomers studied it, the stranger it got.
For Avi Loeb, its path was a map of red flags. First, there's its orbit. All the planets in our solar system travel on a relatively flat plane, called the ecliptic. 3I/Atlas is traveling on a path that is nearly aligned with that plane, but it's moving backwards compared to the planets. A configuration like that is exceptionally rare. Loeb asks, is that a coincidence, or is that a planned path for a probe trying to survey our system? Then there are its physical properties. Initial estimates suggest this thing is huge, around 3.5 miles across, making it significantly more massive than the other visitors we've had. An object this big is a statistical rarity based on what we know. Now, NASA has said that it looks and acts like a comet. It has a visible coma and tail. But Loeb argues that for an object of its size, the activity isn't quite what you'd expect from a typical superactive comet. It's just different. Most recently, observations detected the chemical signature of nickel in the object's glow. Now, this can happen in natural comets, so it's not a smoking gun for anything artificial, but it's another interesting layer to the puzzle. But for Loeb, one of the most suspicious details is the timing. The object reaches its closest point to the Sun on October 29, 2025. At that exact moment, it's positioned on the opposite side of the Sun from us, making it almost impossible to see from Earth. And if you were a piece of alien tech, isn't that the perfect time to make a maneuver when nobody's watching? And this is where all the pieces come together in Avi Loeb's hypothesis. He argues we have to at least consider looking at 3I/Atlas as a piece of technology. For a spacecraft, getting close to a star is the perfect time to use its gravity for a boost, something our own probes do all the time. A small engine burn there can lead to a massive change in direction. Loeb suggests that if 3I/Atlas is some kind of technological mothership, hiding behind the Sun gives it the perfect cover to hit the brakes and stay in our solar system. Or it could use this moment to release smaller probes to explore planets like Earth or Jupiter. He calls this the acid test. If 3I/Atlas comes out from behind the Sun and is still on the same exact path, that would be strong evidence that it's just a natural object obeying gravity. But if its path has changed in a way that can't be explained by normal cometary activity, that would be evidence of a deliberate, powered move. This is about more than just one object for Loeb. He thinks the scientific community sometimes suffers from a failure of imagination. He uses this great analogy of a caveman finding a cell phone. The caveman would just think it's a shiny rock, because a cell phone isn't part of his reality. Loeb is asking, are we being the caveman here? He argues that the stakes are so high that we have a scientific duty to investigate the technological idea. To just dismiss it, he says, isn't science, it's prejudice. Now, in all seriousness, we have to be clear. Loeb's ideas have been met with a lot of skepticism. Most astronomers believe that while 3I/Atlas is fascinating, it's a natural, if unusual, comet. They point out that comets are unpredictable. They break up, they have outbursts. A coincidence, no matter how unlikely, is still just a coincidence. The overwhelming consensus is that 3I/Atlas is a really fun space rock, but nothing more. Critics also point to Loeb's history of controversial claims, arguing he jumps to extraordinary conclusions from ambiguous data. And yet, this whole debate is pushing science forward in a good way. The attention on 3I/Atlas is unprecedented. The Hubble, the James Webb, the Juno probe, all the big guns are pointed at it, gathering incredible data no matter what it turns out to be. Loeb's point is that even if it's just a comet, going through this exercise is crucial. He sees it as practice. With new observatories coming online, we're about to find interstellar objects all the time. Sooner or later, one will be truly strange. By forcing this conversation now, Loeb is making sure that when that day comes, we'll be ready. As of today, October 29, 2025, 3I/Atlas is at its closest point to the Sun, hidden from our view. Its acid test is underway. When it emerges in early November, telescopes everywhere will be waiting to see if its path has changed. Will it just be a curious comet carrying secrets from another star? Or will it deviate, signaling it's something more? Whatever happens, the story of 3I/Atlas shows a healthy tension in science, the balance between skepticism and open-mindedness. It reminds us that progress is made not just by confirming what we know, but being brave enough to imagine what we don't. Avi Loeb might be wrong. The odds, as he admits, are that it's just another rock. But his question, what if he's right, forces us to look up and wonder. It fuels that great human search to answer the biggest question of all: are we alone? The story of 3I/Atlas is the next chapter in that search. If you love talking about the mysteries in our sky and the biggest questions in science, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. The universe is full of secrets, and we'll be here to uncover them with you. Thanks for watching.